Hi everyone. Pretty much every day now, without fail, if you look at the right time, sort of keep seeing rainbows, just pockets of rainbows and stuff sort of in the sky. Or if you look at the clouds, especially towards like the sun area, you'll see clouds that seem to sort of turn red or blue. So I'm not sure how that's sort of light splitting in the clouds. It's um, a bit odd. And I was thinking doing along the lines of sort of think how big the moon and the sun is, and uh, there's things in the sky, just generally how big it would actually appear. So I've been doing some calculations, just to generally try and get an idea. So sort of diameter of moon, distance of moon, sort of sun and sort of distance, Earth size, and then just sort of literally sort of size of Nibiru if it's sort of 7 times, 10 times, or sort of even sort of up 60 times the sort of diameter of the Earth. Because I guess when it comes to something like the Moon, you think it's 2,000 odd miles sort of across, sort of looking at it. Yeah, it's 238,000 odd miles away, and uh, size-wise, it's looking quite big, really. So obviously the parabolic lens effect of the Earth. Um, So it should generally be the same, the sun and sort of anything really sort of coming in. So I've just been trying to work out roughly how big everything is. So I've sort of done, what is it? Diameter divided by distance, um, which comes out as a really, really tiny figure. So I'll just times that by 100. Um, so you sort of see the moon and the sun, and I think that generally stands correct. If you look at them, sort of generally look roughly the same size in the sky. Obviously, you shouldn't really look at the sun. Um, so they've been sort of trying to punch in distances. Um, so uh, I've heard it's meant to come within zero point 0.3 AU, which is um, effectively 1/3 of the distance from the sun. So the Earth to the sun distance is 1 AU. Which is the 92,960,000 miles. So that's roughly 1 AU. So I've based it on 0.3 AU, which is apparently the closest it's meant to get, which is 2,788,800, 27,880,000 miles. So that's still a way away, really, isn't it? So I've done the 0.3, I've done 1 AU, which is the sun distance, and because of our sort of reports of sort of it being out between like Jupiter and Mars, that sort of thing, I've just punched in there sort of 6.45 AU, which is the furthest distance from like Jupiter to Earth that you'd see. Um, so this is how it stacks up. So those figures there are really quite hard to sort of comprehend. So I've put them on a graph. Only problem is I was trying to get one of the little bubble graphs, but all the bubbles kept coming out the same size or sort of overlapping and stuff. So I've gone for this approach, which isn't the best, but it gives a good idea. So if you imagine a complete circle here, sort of round the moon or the sun, so you can see they're very, very sort of similar size. Um, right, so going on the 0.3 AU. So if it was 7 times the size of the Earth as a planet, or brown dwarf, or whatever the hell it is, and whatever else it's pulling along with it, other planets, moons, etc. The biggest part of it is roughly that big. So if you think how big the moon is in the sky, so say if you were to have a full moon, it would be that wide and obviously circular. This would be that big, which is barely, probably just over a fifth, isn't it? So it's not going to look huge at all, and that's at the closest point. And even if it's 10 times the size, it's barely going to be much bigger looking. And if it's 60 times, it's, well, if it's 60 times the size of the Earth, um, yeah, it's you definitely ain't going to miss it. Of course, by the time you'd see that, you'd be absolutely stuffed anyway. Right, so then the sort of complete sun distance away. So as you can see, it's knocking on a tenth of the size of the moon. So it's barely going to be a speck. And the same with times. If it was 60 times the size, be looking like half the size of the sun or something. So that would definitely be visible, as long as it's throwing out visible light. From the very, very furthest distances away, again, you ain't going to see it. So realistically, I think this generally goes to show that unless you've actually got a very keen eye for sort of seeing it, and I think with all the chemtrails, clouds, everything they're doing to stop it being visible, you might see it at the last minute, or you might not. You might not even see it at all, unless it's literally throwing out sort of iron dust all over the place and making a huge sort of reflection in the earth. So yeah, I probably wouldn't wait to see it as such, and I think it's shown to me that probably spending shed loads of time trying to look for it is probably a waste. But at the same time, it is worth, I guess, trawling sky cams and stuff and sort of picking out what is then showing up, because it will show up. But I don't know how bad things on Earth are going to get before it shows up. Um, so yeah, just all the lights and stuff seeing it's really starting to worry me. Not really worry me, more, well, it's a worry. It's more of a concern that generally no one really knows. Everyone gets on with their happy lives, and really is more like a Men in Black sort of thing. Yeah, so yeah, so feel free to do something similar and see if you sort of come to the same sort of conclusions, sort of size-wise and stuff. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be very visible. 0.3 AU, it's going to be literally it's, yeah. Just trying to think, if you gauge how big the moon is between like your fingers and thumb, if it's a centimetre, say, 0.2 millimeters, looking for that in the sky, it's, yeah. So yeah, that's my thoughts for the day, and I just really needed to sort of get that. It's just something I've been thinking of. Yeah, just with photos and stuff. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, and who knows, maybe some of the light refractions that keep sort of showing up in the Earth's atmosphere and stuff. Maybe one of them is it, or maybe some of them are it, and it's sort of, yeah, sort of bouncing through and stuff. And who knows, maybe sort of see any that keep growing slowly, then maybe that is something to start gauging. Yeah, and if it is sort of a little teeny tiny blob like that, and it grows into something like this, or even bigger, then yeah, you can start to sort of gauge it based on sun size. So yeah, thanks.